Okay, newsflash, goal setting alone does not work. I don't care what nobody tells you. You can't just goal set alone. And when I say goal setting alone, I mean like literally telling yourself, okay, I'm going to write out my book in 30 days. That can be a goal. And some people consider that goal setting. And what I'm here to tell you is that just setting that, just saying that this is a goal of mine alone does not work. I think we know this, but sometimes I think that we fail to take ourselves through the whole process of what is really necessary for us to complete something and really accomplish it in our lives. And so I'm here to give you the juice. So the first thing you do, obviously, is to write that down. It's great to say that this is what I desire to have. So, writing a book, let's use that as an example, writing a book in 30 days. But let me tell you how that can fail because Desiree said that she was going to write a book every year for like 10 years. And every year I didn't have the book written. It took me, yeah, a good 10 years from the idea of having, actually, yeah, it's about 15 years actually, from the idea of writing a book to actually manifesting writing a book. And there are a lot of reasons why that is. And that's what I'm going to help you with today. So, yes, it's great to have that goal, but I want you to ask yourself some questions before you start deciding if you're going to pursue that goal. One is this what I really desire right now? And the reason I say that is because sometimes we have goals, but we're setting them in a time or we're thinking about them in a time when it's not really what we desire right now. It's kind of something that makes us feel good. It might make us feel validated, but it's not what we want right now. I just really want people to get real about what you actually desire because is it really a book or is it really, hey, I want to have the opportunity to share myself as a thought leader to people? That doesn't have to be a book, but sometimes we'll say that and that could be like not a bad goal, but sometimes it's a goal that's keeping us from what we say we really want. Now, if you do this activity and you find that this is what you actually desire, then go for it. But you might uncover some things that will help you know, well, what the real goal is, right? What the real goal is. And so I want you to ask yourself, what is it that I truly desire? And so doing that first before you even have any goals that you start pursuing is going to be very eye-opening for you. And so after you write down what you desire, and I think that this is so important, the what, then I want you to think about, well, who do I need to become? Who do I need to become to have that what? And so maybe you list more than one what. Maybe you list a whole bunch of whats. Well, I want you to pick your top two whats and align that with who you need to become to have those top two whats. And so one what I had a while back is that I truly desire to run a half marathon. And so the reason I wanted to do that, my desire was to get back in shape. I actually had a why. So I am a trained dancer and I've been a dancer most of my life. But when I moved into doing training, consulting, and speaking, I wasn't working out as much. When I was a dancer, I was working out like 10 hours a week plus between rehearsals, choreography, teaching, and all the things. But when I became a trainer, coach, speaker, it was like less than 2 hours a week. And so I really felt that in my body. So I'm like, oh, I really want to get, my heart rate back up, like do real life working out for real again. And so training for a marathon was the way that I was doing it. And so my why, or I mean, my what I desired was to have a body that felt way more energetic, that felt way more back like I did before, like feeling like I was in shape again. And I knew what I needed. I needed to have something that I could work toward that would help me stay in the game of actually doing the workouts. And so the marathon was what it was. Half marathon, let me be real, half marathon. And so who I needed to become a person that was disciplined and my running schedule and just disciplined and working out again. I wasn't disciplined and working out. When I was a dancer, I had class, I had times, I had all the things that helped me stay accountable. And so I didn't have that anymore. So I had to recreate that for myself. And so I'm like, okay, Desiree, you need to make sure that you have the things that you need. And so I had to become the person that was disciplined again. And so I was like, I need discipline. I'm the person that's disciplined. Who else did I need to become? I needed to become a person that was open to accountability in this area. I think this is the area in which we fail a lot, is that we don't become the person that is okay with accountability, but then we have these goals and nobody else knows, so we do it in a silo and then we don't accomplish them because, secretly we didn't tell anybody anyway. And so we don't do it. And so I want you to consider, when you think about your who do you need to become? What are the things that you need to change about yourself? What are the habits that need to morph in order for you to be the person that has this what? And so that's why the who is so important. The next one is do you. And we end up skipping the who, and we typically do the what. I want to write a book in 30 days. And then we do the do you. And the do you, to me, is just your action steps. Start taking action on who you need to become and the actions that are related to literally getting to your goal. A lot of times when we skip the who, we don't consider the transformation that we need to have in our habits, that deeper layer of transformation that needs to happen so that we can actually do our goals with energy, do our goals with enthusiasm, and really step into being the person that has the thing. When you become the person that has the thing, it's not just I'm doing these things to have a goal. This is just who I am. Like when I started doing those things that are related to running a marathon, it's like I became a half marathon runner. Like I was doing the things, but it was like I became a runner. I started telling people I was a runner. And I did used to run in high school, by the way. I always feel like Al Bundy when I say stuff like this. Like, remember when I scored the winning touchdown in my high school game? But I did run. And then I also ran in my adulthood. Like when I wasn't dancing on some of my off or like low seasons when I wasn't super busy, I would run. But I never considered myself like a half marathon or a marathon runner. I did like maybe 3 miles. And I felt like that was a lot. And so when I started calling myself, hey, I'm a half marathon runner or I'm more of a long distance runner, like really owning that as an identity, that's when it just became normal to me. It wasn't that I was doing these things. This is just who I am. And I think we all can relate to doing things from a place of who we are and not from a place of checklist. And that is where you'll see the most magic happen, when you are doing things from a place of this is just who I am. I'm not doing this just to check box. I'm not doing this ho hum. This is just who I am. It will come off easier, and it will only feel natural that you will get the end result, because the end result comes easier when it's just who you are. In the book Atomic Habits, my favorite quote, and I talk about this all the time, especially when I do keynotes, is that habit change, the highest form of habit change is identity change. And so if you desire to change a habit, you get to change your identity, the way that you think about a thing, the way that you look at a thing, because when you are believing that this is who you are, you're going to automatically start doing the things that are aligned with that identity. Just like when I said I ran the half marathon, I was automatically doing it because I identify myself as a half marathon runner. And so goal setting by itself is going to leave you with this bit of transformation that's actually necessary for you to see big changes in your life. You desire to see big changes in your life, then you get to transform yourself. Now, this might be okay with some goal setting in the sense of like I'm setting goals with something that's already aligned to my identity. Then you don't actually have to do some of this because my identity is already aligned with it. So I'm vegan right now. And I say right now because, life is the way it is. Maybe I'll change my mind, but right now I am a vegan. So I'm a vegan right now. And so it doesn't, me setting a goal to like eat salads every day is not like a big deal. Like I could do that. I don't actually desire to eat salads every day. People get that messed up. Vegans don't eat salads every day. But I don't desire to eat salads every day, but it wouldn't be a hard one for me to transform myself into, because it's like I already eat plants all the time, right? And so when you're doing goals that are aligned to who you are, sometimes those things are easier. But if it's not aligned to who you are, you have to do some deeper work versus just setting a goal and checking. You get to transform who you are, especially when you want these deeper goals, when you want these bigger goals for yourself. It's bigger than goal setting. And so if you're someone that knows that they need to do something bigger than goal setting, then you need to get my main character energy playbook. It is 21-day challenge. It's a 21-day challenge to allow you to really morph into the person that you know you need to become, to do the things that you know God is calling you to do. And so if you are a high achieving woman leader, visionary, CEO, and just desire to have changes in your life, you desire to be promoted, you desire to start your business, you desire to have a different way that you're living a lifestyle and just doing the things that you're passionate about, this is for you. I want you to get back in the driver's seat of becoming the main character in your life again. And so if you're down for that, go ahead and click the link below. Can't wait to hear what you get from doing this, and look forward to seeing you in the next video.